Hey everybody, this is Alex Dixon of Studio 722 coming back at you with another How I Mix This for the month of July. This month we'll be looking at The Battle Not the War by Derek Ryan, and it's a good hard rock song that's very pleasing to the ears. Anyway, here's a preview of how I mixed it.
Can't control the curse that makes me feel alive. So close your eyes.
Alright, I think that's enough of the song. Anyway, we'll start from left to right. As you can see, I got all my organization from drums to bass to guitars to vocals and a couple effects and buses. Anyway, let's start with the mixing on the buses. Pretty much on the drum bus, the overall drum bus, I pulled out a little bit of 122 to kind of bring down some of the rumbliness, and just a little bit of 66 hertz to kind of bring down a little more rumbliness, low rumbliness. And on the bass, I pulled out pretty much all the highs, leaving a little bit of mids. And I also did a saturation. I also used the soft tube saturation knob to kind of give it that weightiness. And then I also used the Variety of Sound Nasty VCS. It's a preamp plugin, preamp channel strip type plugin. And I mainly used it for its saturation knob and compression, to kind of even it out and give it a little more weightiness. I also boosted the low end with a shelf of about 100 hertz. Anyway, this is what and on the guitar bus, I added a little bit of high end, shelved out the high past the low lows because didn't really need it. I don't think. Yeah, there's no compression going on the guitars on the overall bus. On the vocals, I've got a little bit of a low end boost, a little bit of low mids pulled out, and I pulled out some 830 to kind of pull out some of that nasaliness. I also high or low past the highs to kind of darken the vocals a little bit, remove some of that sibilance. I also de-essed it, and I didn't do any compression on the vocals with Alloy, but I did do some major compression with the Red 3.
Sleep tonight. I can't seem to dream the things that make me feel alright. I need to write my.
As you can see, it's completely smashing the vocals. I pulled down the threshold. I have about one and a half second release, and I have a very fast attack. I'm also doing a ratio of about 8-to-1 and some makeup gain and 100% wet. So I'm pretty much smashing the vocals to kind of keep the volume levels even. And I didn't really separate the vocals from the background vocals, I don't think. No. I also have a reverb going on. I'm using a cathedral-sized reverb, and this is what that sounds like. You know, that's just to kind of give it a little bit of a sense of space. And on the stereo mix bus, I have the Booty Q. I'm pulling out some of the low lows. Not really doing much while I'm adding just a teeny bit of high shelf, I believe that is. Um, Turned it up just a little bit, added a little bit of tube saturation and a little bit of drive. Now let's go to the individual instrument buses. Uh, One thing you'll notice is on the overheads, I've got a Rough Rider with a 1001 ratio. Um, is to kind of give that really, really, really squish sound like this. To kind of give it that pumpiness that I really like in overheads. And I also did some EQ work with Alloy 2. I high passed the overheads and did a little bit of transient shaping. Um, no compression. Well, a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting about 2-3 dBs on the overheads of alloy compression, and I'm doing the same thing with the Rough Rider on the room mic to kind of give it that grit. On the toms, I'm adding some beef in the low end, about 65-70 hertz. I'm pulling out some just under 100, just over 80 or so. So probably roughly around 90. And to kind of give it that curve, that resonant curve, when you go up, the frequencies above go, the frequency above and below goes down, it dips a little bit. And then I have all the claps going to their separate bus. Well,
This is the battle, not the war.
I'll have to find the claps. Where are they?
I lie, pride, hold this thread.
Not really doing much there. Actually, not anything at all. Probably just a little bit of compression. Actually, not even that. I don't even think I did anything to the claps bus except for pull the volume down. And on the acoustic guitars, I did a little bit of EQ work, a little bit of saturation. I boosted the lows a little bit and pulled out some 200 to kind of give the acoustic guitars a little more beef to them. And I did a little bit of tube and warm saturation, and I don't think I'm doing any compression on it. And next up are the electric guitars over here, and I have the EQ pulling out the lows, pulling out about 8 dBs of lows, about 90, a shelf EQ of about 90 and below. Excuse me. And then on the lead guitars, I have it pulling out all the low end upwards of about 110, and then on Alloy 2, not doing anything, so that's just using CPU power. But and then on the guitar tremolo, I'm pulling out all the lows again of about 110 hertz. And on the background vocals, on the little background vocal piece that's right here,
Not the war. You broke the seal, now I want not the war. This is the battle, not the war.
pretty much that telephone effect. I pretty much pulled out the all the lows and mids, and boosted the high mids of about 2K and up, in between 2K and about 10K. I'm also pulling out all the high highs. So yeah, and I had to pull that down quite a bit in volume. I'm also using the saturation knob as high as it will go, and I'm doing the keep high setting. Let's see. But yeah, that's pretty much this one. That's pretty much this song for this month. It's a great rockin' tune.